So, Chrissy,
Yes.
I was watching one of my shows last night and this ad came on for some new drug. Want to hear what the side effects are?
Yeah, hit me.
Sleepwalking, loss of fingerprints, hallucinations, permanent skin color changes,
Oh my gosh.
compulsive behaviors such as gambling,
Okay.
tooth growth in your eyeball,
Oh my God.
severe skin peeling, cancer, and possible suicide.
Oh my, what the heck? What drug was it and who the heck would take that? That's crazy.
I can't remember what drug, but I swear it's the same no matter what it is. Is this seriously the best we can do for our health?
Maybe not. Remember when we had Susie on, my functional nutritionist?
Yes, she is the best.
Yes, she is, and she treated my inflammation with tinctures. Herbal tinctures made from what grows on this planet.
Oh, I love it. How did she know what to use and where can I get some of this magic?
Well, her daughter, Julie, was a chemistry major and she's kind of a master herbalist. And she makes them. And girl, they are fantastic.
I would love to pick Julie's brain. That is absolutely fascinating.
You can pick her brain tonight, girl, because she is our special guest and you are going to love her.
Yay! Food and plants as medicine. I love it. But will any of her tinctures cause a tooth to grow out of my eyeballs?
Not A1. Welcome to Cougar College, y'all.
Hello, Cougar students, and welcome back to another episode of Cougar College. We are your hosts and the Cougars. I'm Liz.
And I'm Chrissy, and we are on a midlife mission to know it all. Do not be confused by people who say that we are here to teach middle-aged women how to pick up young men.
Because nothing could be more incorrect, Liz.
Incorrect.
Incorrect. We are not that kind of cougar.
Nope.
We are on the prowl for knowledge, not men.
Yep, no man prowling here. Sorry to disappoint. But we are changing the cougar narrative, y'all.
We are all about,
Yes.
Am I okay?
You are correct.
We are all about learning on this podcast, and the first thing we are going to learn is about the featured artist of the episode, Patricia Wing. Oh my gosh, what is wrong with me?
Blame it on menopause. We blame everything on menopause in this show. Everything.
Let me.
It works. Yes, it
let
does.
me try that again.
Try it again.
Patricia Wing.
Yes.
Patricia started crocheting just in October of 2024. She had tried several other art mediums, but she didn't fall in love with any of them until she learned to crochet. It was tough to learn at first, but seeing so many adorable plushies and stuffies at craft fairs gave her the urge to keep trying. And many that was my fault. And many hours of practice, she finally had her first crochet project complete. In her own words, it was pretty decent. At least you can tell it was a penguin, and she was hooked. No pun intended. She now spends almost all of her free time crocheting.
And look at these. I mean,
oh my gosh, they're so cute.
They're so cute. So this chicken has eggs.
I was gonna
What?
say it's about to birth something.
Yes, it has 3 eggs.
my
It's the
gosh.
cutest thing ever.
So cute.
They're so cute. So yes, you can find Patricia. She does some festivals around the area, but I'm not exactly sure where. But you can always find her stuff here at Cave Studios in Davidson, North Carolina. And she'll have a few things online soon.
Oh, okay, yay.
Yes, she
Love
will.
that.
Okay, and now it's time to introduce our special guest. She is a licensed chiropractor and grew up on a horse farm where she began learning about caring for injured animals at a very young age while assisting her parents with their on-site rehabilitation center called Indian Creek. Over the years, Indian Creek has helped hundreds of animals, horses, dogs, cats, and even some cows, recover from debilitating injuries and illnesses using modalities like photon light therapy, which we're going to talk about.
Ooh.
I think it's so interesting. massage, and chiropractic adjustment. And now Dr. Julie has also developed a unique line of therapeutic herbal tinctures that she uses to complement her chiropractic and light therapy practice. She is passionate about helping Carolina's animals and their owners enjoy happier, healthier, pain-free lives through safe, holistic remediation. Welcome to Cougar College, Dr. Julie.
Welcome,
Thank you.
Julie.
Thank you. Thank
It's
you
so
so
nice
much.
to have you here.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
You are welcome.
I'm excited to be here.
I'm among two chemists. I'm
Oh.
like the odd one out here.
I don't know if I'd call myself
You are a chemist. You are.
I don't know. I don't
You
know if
are.
putting oils together
You
makes
are.
me a chemist or not.
It's chemistry.
It
Yes,
is.
chemistry there.
Perhaps.
Even,
Perhaps.
I mean, baking is technically chemistry.
That's true.
Absolutely.
That's
So,
true.
you know,
Yeah.
if you've ever
Absolutely.
made some muffins, you're
Yes.
If you can make them rise.
Do you
Yes,
know
that's
how
true.
many formulas we went through for some of our products?
Oh,
though?
yeah.
Yeah, it was trial and error.
You know how many
All
times I've worked
crazy.
out?
I know.
Because we test everything on ourselves.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, we are the guinea pigs.
I love your serum, by the the
Oh, I forgot that I gave you some.
Oh, you use it?
I
Yay.
have.
What
Yeah,
did
been
I give
using
you?
it.
I can't remember.
Age define?
The
I think I gave you some tallow.
oh no, yes, you gave me the
I gave you
towel,
some
and then
tallow.
the serum, which
The
is
anti-aging
yes,
serum.
yeah.
But we call
Okay.
it now
Age define.
age defying
Age-defying.
serum. Because
We
we're all
did-
aging. We're all
Yes.
aging, so.
Yes.
Yes.
We did a rebrand and we changed a lot.
Yes. Well,
So.
people would pick it up and go, Cougar, and they put it back down. I was like, we need to rebrand this.
Change
so,
it.
CC's
For real.
Wild Skincare.
There you
go.
Yes.
There
Sounds
you
a lot
go.
better.
I love it.
Absolutely.
Anyway,
Okay,
okay.
Julie, we
Yes.
have a cougar cocktail for
Yes.
you.
Okay, perfect. I love cougar cocktails.
I did not know what you liked, but Chrissy said white wine.
Mhm.
So this is a Spanish wine made with organic grapes.
Amazing.
I don't know how you say that. Marquis? De
Marquis
Riscal? Or
Ooh.
Marquis?
De Riscal.
I don't know.
Marquis. Or
Yes.
Marquis. De Riscal.
Marquis.
Okay.
I don't know.
Made with organic grapes, and I am going to
Organic.
take my DAO
Yes,
enzyme
take your enzyme.
so that I don't
Perfect.
have a
Something
my water's-
else?
my water's broken.
Verdejo?
Something else you can take before you drink
Yes.
is zinc.
Oh,
Zinc
Oh.
before you drink.
Zinc before you drink.
Zinc is actually
I need
a
to- oh, sorry.
cofactor in the enzymatic process that produces alcohol dehydrogenase, which is an enzyme that metabolizes alcohol. So
Really?
I feel like I
yeah.
need to patent that. Zinc
Mm.
before you drink.
Zinc before you drink. So yeah, so if you take zinc, it actually will help prevent a hangover because you will metabolize alcohol more efficiently.
Wait,
Oh,
can
man,
you take
so-
zinc as a supplement?
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know these
It's really
things.
good for your immune system too.
Okay. Oh, I
Yeah.
love
yeah,
that.
I have
Yeah.
heard that. And also, it was something else. I heard zinc was good for something else, but I've never
COVID.
paused, and so, was it
COVID.
COVID?
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. I did hear
interesting.
that. That's so interesting.
I did not.
Yeah.
But
Haven't
maybe it was zinc. Maybe I was thinking for your
Yeah.
not metabolism, but your what did you just say?
Alcohol dehydrogenase or
Whatever.
immune system.
Immune system.
Immune system.
Immune system. Yes. Okay. Cool. Well, okay. Since you are a chemist, what is it? What causes a hangover? Like, why?
Oh gosh.
Do you have any idea? Is there a fly?
I mean,
Hydration?
dehydration is part of it.
Okay.
But yeah, when you're when you consume alcohol and the effects on the body,
And your
it's
liver is
toxic.
taxed.
Yes. So
Yes.
it's yeah, your liver has to process it. It's essentially a poison. So it's like
Oh.
it's
We're
like
sad.
any
I
other
hate to think
yeah,
of it as
you
a
know.
poison, but it is.
It is.
really
So it's really like any other
Why'd you ask this
substance that you take.
I don't know why. Because this is my probably 5th or 6th day drinking in a row because I've been on vacation.
Oh,
Yeah.
same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Same.
the mornings are getting a
But-
little rough. but-
Cheers.
Cheers.
Let's taste
Yes.
it, girls.
Okay. Mm.
Ooh, that's good.
Mm.
I like it.
Oh, it's different. I'm sorry it's not very chilled,
That's okay.
but I like it.
It is a little different.
Yeah.
It is. Oh my gosh, it's very light though.
How do I
Take
feel
another
about it?
sip.
I like
Take another sip.
I'll take another.
I know. It takes me 2 or 3 sips to really decide whether or not I like something.
Ooh, I like that.
I like it.
Okay, I like it.
Yes.
I like it. I give
I
it,
like it.
2 paws up.
Yep,
Yep.
me too. Two
2
paws
paws
up.
up. What do you think?
Six
paws.
paws.
6
Six
paws out.
paws up for
6 out of 6 is not bad.
Marquis de Riscal.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
Verdejo. Whatever that.
Yes.
that-
That
Doesn't
sounds,
that mean
sounds
green?
right.
Green.
Green.
Oh, verde is
Verde.
green.
Verde.
Verde is green.
Right?
Yeah. And it's green
It's a
lettering.
green grape.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah. Must
Yes.
be.
I don't know. Sounds good.
I like it. Yay.
Okay, yay! Okay, we got our Cougar cocktail. We're in like fun. Okay, so, and Nathaniel. All right, so, Dr. Julie, you are a chiropractor. What was my first?
Okay. Well, let me ask you. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Since you know her and
Yes.
I don't really. So, you're a doctor of chiropractic.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Did we go over that? I apologize. Did we? In an introduction?
I mentioned. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Licensed chiropractor, but that's a doctor.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And so, can you just give me a little bit more of your background with that? So you were also a chemistry major?
Well,
or?
so I was a biochemistry major, for undergrad,
Okay.
and I did it again.
No, that's
It's
okay.
okay,
Oh, you
don't
can
worry
put your
about
feet
it.
up there.
I
That's
keep
more
kicking-
comfortable.
I keep kicking something and making noise.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, here we go.
I'm going up. I'm sorry.
Welcome to Cougar College.
So it actually kind of ties into this first question that you have on here about whether I've always been passionate about holistic care.
Yeah.
And when I started college, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. I wanted to do something with science, because I love the science. So I was a education major, for a while. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And
So was I.
yeah,
Well,
so
no,
I
masters.
kept changing my my major, and I actually had some health issues where I ended up going to see a holistic Indian doctor because I had an abnormal pap, and my
I didn't know
OB-GYN.
this.
Well, so it came up precancerous, and when I was 18, and my OB-GYN essentially just dismissed it and said, come back in a year,
As
Oh,
they
yeah.
always do.
Yeah, so my mom was like, no, I don't think so.
Of course she did.
So-
Love
And
her.
where were
Yeah.
you living at this point?
I think I had already started at Maryville University.
Okay, where's that?
So it's in St. Louis, Missouri.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
where what I remember of your mom's
Yeah.
Okay.
So she found this great doctor. Her name was Dr. Ratoad in St. Louis, and she took me in, and she basically diagnosed all this stuff from looking at my tongue and
Wow.
So she diagnosed me with candida overgrowth just from looking at my tongue.
Yes.
Probably we all, oh yeah.
And
that's a big one.
Yep, and serotonin deficiency, and so she
Really?
and she
By
gave
looking
me
at your tongue.
by looking at my tongue and doing some other stuff that I don't remember. But anyway, so she got me on this candida cleanse, which is a protocol that we still use now, over 20 years later.
Oh wait, I
Did
did that.
this?
I did it.
Oh,
I need to do it
love
again
that.
after all this alcohol.
Except it has the tincture now, which I didn't have the tincture at that time, obviously.
Oh,
yeah.
So
Okay, yeah,
did
yeah.
this
So
doctor have a office? Okay.
yeah, but she didn't take any insurance. It was
Okay.
all cash.
Right.
Right.
She had a
And
private
was
practice.
she was a Native American?
No, she was
she was
Indian,
Oh,
Indian
like
India.
from India. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
And she anyway, so I did this candida cleanse, and I took this supplement. It was called Serene for my serotonin. And
we gotta write this stuff down.
yeah, and I went back in for another pap, and it was completely normal. And
my
I
gosh.
lost
Amazing.
15 pounds just without trying because
Right.
of the candida. And I was like, oh my gosh,
It's pretty
it
amazing.
changed my life,
Right.
because I was so tired all the time, and I just felt like crap.
Right.
And,
How old were you then?
I was 18.
Okay, and so what was your lifestyle at that point?
I had gotten into fitness and trying to be healthy probably my senior year in high school.
Okay.
But I didn't really know anything. So I tried keto.
Who doesn't
or,
eat
or,
keto?
or I guess
Right.
back then it was
Or 20,
Atkins.
or
Atkins.
52.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Atkins diet. I remember.
And
Oh, yes.
and so I was
The Atkins
oh my
diet,
gosh.
my best friend did it before her wedding.
yeah.
She was living on
Well,
peanuts and cheese.
And I was eating the processed, meats
You
and
could do
and
anything. You could have
and
done
the-
hot
oh,
dogs.
yeah,
I remember.
yeah.
Oh,
and the low carb rice cake things that taste like cardboard,
Yep.
and all the artificial sweet sucralose diet. I lived on diet Dr.
Oh,
Pepper,
God. Yeah, me
so
too.
I didn't know,
Miracle
I
Whip,
didn't
we
know
were raised on
anything.
the worst of the worst. Yeah.
So
Now I'm
that
doing
was
it.
you,
Yeah,
that
now
wasn't
I'm
me.
doing it.
So when I got introduced to that, I started going down the rabbit holes of like holistic health.
Right.
And one of the first books I read was a book by Kevin Trudeau called Natural Cures They Don't Want You to Know About. And it exposes the FDA and the pharmaceutical companies and all of that. And it just like blew my mind, right? It opened up this, and then I found,
and that was 20 years ago.
This was a long time ago. Yeah, this would have been 2004.
So,
I think.
Oh my
so
gosh,
people
imagine now.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Well, so I actually stumbled across, I don't know if you've heard of Dr. Mercola. He's like a big name, right?
Yes.
Well, I stumbled across his website before anybody knew who he was.
Okay.
It was like the dark web, you know?
So people have been trying to get this information out there for decades.
Yeah. And I went down all the vaccine rabbit holes and
that's a deep dark rabbit hole.
so it just like lit a fire under me when I just started learning about the corruption and
when
how
you were 18.
when I was 18.
Wow.
And so I'll never forget actually doing a presentation in my microbiology class about the polio vaccine and how the whole polio thing is, was basically a government scam coup.
And have you ever talked to a boomer about the polio vaccine?
Mm-hmm.
Not your mom, of course, but
right.
like most boomers, they're like, it cured the world.
Yeah.
I'm like, no.
I mean,
no.
That's what I thought too.
That's what everybody thinks. Is that actually the polio epidemic was actually caused by mass DDT fumigation campaign.
The DDT.
What is the DDT?
Oh, it was what they used to kill weeds and stuff.
DDT is good for me.
Yeah. What? It's the worst of the worst. So it's the glyphosate of today.
Yes.
Oh
yes.
my.
And essentially, without going too off topic, with the polio thing.
Oh yeah, no. When I said we might get to these.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay.
Serious.
So we can talk about polio a little bit if you want. So polio is there's different causes of polio. So polio is just like a trash can diagnosis for a set of symptoms, neurologic symptoms. So it can be caused by different things. Yeah, paralysis, that kind of thing.
Did you know that?
Weakness,
Because it's so, I feel like, I don't know if the word is correct, antiquated. Like it's so like,
people associate it with the polio virus, right? So polio is the virus. If we're talking about the virus, is an enterovirus, which means it cultivates or activates in your GI tract.
Okay.
And
where most things.
A lot of things. Yeah. Well, there's certain viruses that that go through different systems in your body, and that happens to be an enterovirus, which is why a lot of times if you are infected with polio, your initial symptoms will just be like diarrhea and stuff like that, GI type symptoms.
Right.
So less than 1% of cases of polio are even symptomatic, and less than 0.5% of cases of polio result in paralysis. So being an enterovirus, the only way to spread polio is fecal oral contact.
Oh.
So that's why it's prevalent.
Kids.
Exactly. So that's why it's
that's what kids do. They
they can, they may. But so that's why it's prevalent in third world countries.
Also, a lot of times, because my husband is in produce, this is the only reason I know this, is because like field workers, right? They poop in the field, and then how do you get all the dirty like lettuces and stuff? Yeah.
Well, you're gonna see more E. coli, with stuff like it, because E. coli is a prevalent. It's a ubiquitous, whatever. But polio. So that's why polio is a problem in third world countries that don't have water sanitation. So they're drinking this water. So let's just do some common sense here, right?
Okay.
Polio epidemic in the United States in the 1950s when we have indoor plumbing and
was it an epidemic?
All of this. It was considered an epidemic. Absolutely.
Okay. Oh, there's all those pictures of the kids in the
iron lung and the braces and all that.
So everybody was so afraid. Because a lot of kids were catching it.
So the kids were catching it because they were playing in apple orchards
Oh,
because of the DDT. So they
the
so
DDT. That's
yes.
right. Yeah.
So let's circle back. So an enterovirus that's spread exclusively by fecal oral contact that is symptomatic in less than 0.5% of cases. What are the odds of an epidemic happening in a first world country with indoor plumbing? It makes no sense.
Well, I want to know if this was like the 1950s version of COVID.
But yes.
Okay.
That's why when COVID happened, I was like, oh shit, that's not,
I wish I had known you.
Yeah. So
Man,
so
me too.
anyway, so they essentially it was actually an opportunity for the government to not only poison a bunch of people, but to develop a vaccine that they could then come in and say, now we're going to save you, with this vaccine.
Right.
And actually, the polio vaccines caused so many cases of polio that
Oh my gosh.
they were banned.
Yes.
Yeah. And actually, that's why they don't give the polio vaccines anymore, because they shed it in their poop, and like babies that shed it in their poop, then they can give it to the parents. And the COVID shot vaccine is not even a vaccine. I mean, that's gene therapy. It's a completely different.
Is it the first? Is it the first vaccine that is RNA?
The mRNA? No.
The mRNA.
The first mRNA vaccine was actually, they made one for dengue fever that was a failure. No mRNA technology has passed safety trials, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So the first one that they did in the United States, I believe, somebody may correct me on this, but I believe it was the RSV. So they developed a vaccine for RSV back in they tried to back in the 70s, and it killed a bunch of babies in clinical trials. And so it never passed because it couldn't pass safety trials.
I can't.
Well, now they strong-armed the COVID shots with the emergency use authorization.
Oh, yeah.
And so now all of a sudden, now we magically have an RSV vaccine that's mRNA that we're giving to babies. Yeah, because they don't do safety trials on vaccines anymore. They haven't since the 1986 Childhood Vaccine Injury Act.
This is scary.
So
it's so scary.
That's terrible. Oh my gosh.
It's very, if you haven't seen it already, there is a documentary called it just came out. Yeah, the Inconvenient Study.
There's another one. Thank you, Dr. Fauci, that I haven't seen yet. Have you seen that one?
No,
I haven't seen it yet.
No, but there's one called the Inconvenient Study. It's another Del Bigtree, and it exposes all of this corruption in the vaccine, the history, the vaccine industry.
I wasn't even in tune to any vaccine issues until the HPV vaccine.
Oh my God,
that's one of the worst.
Yeah,
it's one of the worst.
If I could go back in time.
It started injuring girls, and so my son is 15.
And boys.
And boys. When he was up for it, I was like, no. But my doctors are so chill. They were like, okay. I was like,
yeah. We got pushed, and finally I was like, all right, I'll get it for the girls. I got Lily one, not two. No, I got Lily both of them. Molly had one, and I traced it back, and it was not, but maybe 2 months after she got the vaccine. That's when she started having mass amounts of pain. Her bleeding got really bad. She already had surgery for endometriosis at 14 years old, and that's not long after she got the vaccine.
Well, you get bullied into it because
I
got the COVID shot, the first one, because they were like, you're not going to be able to travel, you're not going to do this, and then people at the were like, Liz, you need to get it. And I got the first one. I had the hugest allergic reaction. I had my period for 8 days, which is not. Oh my gosh! I was like,
sick.
I was so sick. I was in bed with a high fever for 8 days, and I did not get the second one.
Yeah. Again, if I could go back in time,
gosh, me too.
but my husband's Irish. My girls are Irish citizens, and we wanted to go over to Ireland, and they said you can't go to Ireland. You'll never be able. You'll never be able to travel again
and you had to carry
without a vaccine passport.
Yes.
And if you do get over, you'll never get back in the United States. And I was like, Shiza, we're gonna have to do this.
Well, and that's where
2 months later, they dropped all that.
I know. How did they? I mean, I can't believe that they paired it. Like.
We could go on.
Yes, right.
What is it? The global elite.
Yes. Yes. I mean, the tyranny, the mass tyranny, which again, like you said, COVID was like polio 2.0, right? which I had been
Wow.
reading. I've been studying this stuff for 20 years. So when and it's not just polio. They did it with the swine flu. They did it with the bird flu. It's like every time they got to scare people
Wait, is there a vaccine
controlling
for
them.
swine flu?
Fear monger.
There's a vaccine.
No,
for
I don't
that?
think so. That's where
Right,
the
I gotcha.
that's where another thing to think about. The only diseases, there are thousands of infectious diseases. The only ones that anyone is afraid of are ones that we have vaccines for, because it's propaganda.
Fear mongering.
We've got more cases of tuberculosis. More people die from tuberculosis than it, but there's no vaccine. So who's scared of tuberculosis?
Right.
Instead we're going to be scared of chicken pox and measles, which I could talk about measles too, and why we've ruined our health with measles vaccine.
Oh yeah, and they fear monger that too. I
Yes.
mean, that was just a couple months ago when there were like one child.
Oh my God, someone has
But
vitamin.
when 50,000 people die from the flu every
Yes.
year. But I mean,
And we have a vaccine for the flu, and it doesn't
It
work.
doesn't work.
In fact, it has an inverse effectiveness most of the time. If you
Yes.
get the flu shot, you're more likely to get the flu.
I rarely have gotten the flu shot, but 100% of the time when I got the flu shot, I got so sick.
2016 was the last time I got it, and I remember it so vividly because I was so sick.
Oh, I'll never again.
I've never had one. I've never had a flu shot.
Don't.
Do you
Because
have any vaccines at all? Your mom probably didn't give you any.
unfortunately, I was vaccinated as a child, but it was before she had a really good pediatrician. His name was Dr. Sun. He was Cambodian, I think, and he wasn't holistic, but he was more conservative. He would give her vitamin C crystals, to give us, and he did minimal vaccinations, and spaced them out. Never vaccinated us if we were sick, which should be common knowledge, but unfortunately it's not now.
Well,
So
did you?
So I got I got the MMR and I got the DTaP, but then after that, really very, very minimal,
Right. Not the
fortunately.
mass amount the rest of us.
Now my child
about-
is completely feral. I mean, my child
What do you
is
have to go to
completely
college?
pure.
Hepatitis.
You don't have to have anything. You don't. Yeah.
Yeah, they tell you do, but
Yeah.
you can work around
You
it a
can.
little bit.
It really depends on the school. If it's a school thing, now obviously working, so like for instance, I never had to have any to go to college. Of course, they push it harder now, than they used to.
So hard.
But
so hard.
but I also worked in a coffee shop named Caldy's in undergrad, and they told me when I applied that I had to have a Hep B shot.
Yeah.
And I was like, or whatever,
Oh,
Hep B,
wow.
Hep C, whatever
That's
it
what I
was.
was told to go to college.
Yeah, and I said
Or Hep C.
no. I was like, I can't get that. So all I had to do was have Dr. Ratode write me like a little exemption.
I love that name.
Yeah,
Love that
Ratode.
What do you think about this? Is it vitamin K?
Yeah,
That they
vitamin
were
K
giving
shot as a black box
to-
warning, actually.
Wait. What's
They
a
were
vitamin K
they were
shot?
giving it
Yes.
to all babies.
So they give it. The reason why they give vitamin K shot, which is synthetic vitamin K, it's not even a vitamin. It has a black box warning, which means it's a death warning.
You know what else has a black
Lord.
box warning?
All the vaccines.
Botox.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
well,
Yes.
never-
Yes.
We're not gonna give that up.
Oh no, God. Hey, I have not had Botox.
I have my limits.
Oh my
Listen,
gosh,
boy,
how old are
limits.
you?
I will be 41 on Friday.
Can you
you're
believe
so
that?
young.
When I came
So
to see you the
young.
first time, I thought you were 32.
I know you were
Yeah.
so young, but still 41.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
She's 40.
You're a
Yeah.
baby.
Such
You're
a baby.
You're a baby.
Aw. Such a
It's
baby.
good. It's good.
But yeah, so the vitamin K, they give vitamin K to newborns for two reasons. One, so vitamin K is what your body needs to clot blood
Okay.
efficiently. Newborns are born with low levels of vitamin K for a reason, because when you're born, you have all of these stem cells. So the birth process is probably the most traumatic process anyone will ever go through in
That's
their
what I've
entire
heard.
life.
That's the most painful thing
So-
you'll ever go through. So thank God
Well,
you can't remember it. Or
right,
at least they
right.
can. I can.
So when
Every
you
second
when
of it.
For a real girl.
when a baby is born,
Except Easton, she was tiny.
aw.
My kids are massive.
Anyway, so when a baby is born, all of the cord blood that is still in the cord. That's why delayed cord clamping is so important.
Yes.
Because you want about half of the blood that's in the placenta is still in the placenta.
Okay.
Well, they want to clamp it early because they bank that blood. They sell it. They sell the stem cells.
Yep.
So, but you want it in your baby.
Just to other people?
For beauty
research,
projects, for research,
yeah.
the hospitals sell that. So they charge you for delayed cord clamping, but if you don't do delayed cord clamping, they make thousands of dollars on your stem cells.
So crazy.
So anyway, the baby, when the baby is born, they have all these stem cells, which stem cells are pluripotent cells that can differentiate into any type of tissue. So when you go through a traumatic process like birth, you need all those stem cells to go and heal and repair everything, right? So the stem cells will move more efficiently through the blood if it is thin. So babies are born.
Oh, so that's why they don't have a lot of
low
vitamin K.
So the body, so the baby will start making more vitamin K on the 8th day. So their blood is thin from 0 to 8 days.
Okay.
And it's, I mean, we're made the way we're supposed to be.
Yes.
So well, and
God
that's why they will usually wait to do a circumcision until
Day 8.
after. Well, they may not now because
They
they
don't.
give the vitamin K shot. So that's the reason why they give the vitamin K shot. It's not just circumcision, but because if you do a circumcision on a baby before they're 8 days old and they haven't had a vitamin K shot, they will bleed out and die.
Yeah.
So so and don't get me started on circumcision. So my son is not circumcised. So but
my husband
anyway, it's a pointless. Honestly, again, the only reason it's a cultural thing. The only reason why we do it in this country is because they use the foreskin for beauty. They sell it. They sell the foreskin.
What?
Yes.
So I thought it was for cleanliness.
No, there is no
that's what
difference
you're sold.
in hygiene. We're literally, the United States is the only country that does routine infant
This
circumcision.
is really making me nauseous.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Sorry. I know, and I feel bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like, but like you can't go back.
You can't.
Yeah.
But anyway, the other reason why they do it, even so, if it's a girl, a female that they're obviously not going to circumcise because females
they do female circumcision
in other countries.
Africa.
But you know what? Why? If it's so barbaric and nasty to think of female circumcision, why isn't it the same? Why don't we have the same?
Why do for men?
It's the same. It's basically mutilation, But
Right.
anyway, so so the other reason is because the birth process in the United States is so traumatic because there's this urgency, right? So first we're gonna induce the mother at 39 weeks, or they just want to get it. They just want to do it. We're going to induce you because it's, it's
but
time.
Also, those drugs, they can charge you.
Well, and so yes, they can induce you. Pitocin is a very powerful drug. It will elicit much more powerful contractions than oxytocin.
Okay.
So that's why usually when they induce, then the pain is so intense you need an epidural.
Yeah.
And then you want it progressing. And so then they push you into a C-section.
Yeah.
So that's the trifecta that most women, if they go through a traditional United States birth, that's what they're going to be funneled into.
Okay, so I follow these holistic doctors. It's Kale Blossom. I don't know if you've seen them, and they are always talking about how giving birth is so over medicalized.
Yes.
I don't even know if that's
they treat
but
it.
Listen, yeah. So I had Pitocin with both kids.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
They tried to force me. So I had been on bed rest for 5 months with Grant. I had a kidney stone. I had no idea that I had it.
Oh God.
So
which is like labor pain.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't know.
Right.
It sent me.
Is it labor or is it a stone?
It sent me into labor at 5 months. So
Lord.
then they
gosh.
gave me Pitocin to induce, obviously. And they tried to force me into a C-section. I said, and thank God I had the doctors that I had. They were like, okay.
Yeah.
And I was I pushed for 3 hours.
Yeah.
But I got him out. But with
Easton,
Easton, I was on the Pitocin for 2.5 hours without an epidural because I was like, I'm not going to get it. Then I was climbing the walls, and so then they can give you a walking one.
Yeah.
So it just
a walking one.
Yeah. So
I've never heard that before.
It was just numb here.
Yeah.
And I pushed her out twice because second baby, but still I was in labor on my own, but I'm a slow goer. I was in labor for 4 days before my water
Oh
broke.
my gosh.
Oh,
Before
Lord.
my water broke.
I had
But-
prodromal labor for about 2 weeks.
Did you
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, I
But
went
they-
to 42 and 4. Yeah.
Oh.
They
But I-
forced me
Yeah.
to get the Pitocin because
Yeah.
once I got to the hospital, they were like, "Oh, you're in labor by yourself." But then a couple hours later, I still wasn't progressing. I'm like, "Guys, I'm slow," and they were like, "You have to be on the Pitocin." So then
It's
I.
such BS.
I mean, it's
Yeah,
such
that
BS.
sucks.
So then
Yeah.
I like couldn't even get myself calmed down because the Pitocin sends you into orbit.
yes.
Really?
And once
Oh, yeah.
once they gave me the walking epidural, I went from 5 to 9 in like 30 seconds,
Yeah.
and I pushed her out.
Yeah.
Holy
Yeah.
moly.
I know. It was
Yeah.
like,
Well, I was very fortunate too. I had a C-section with the first because when we got to the hospital, she was butt down.
Yeah.
They're like, we don't switch things
No.
anymore, and I
Mhm.
hated
Mhm.
it, y'all.
Mhm.
I hated having a C-section
Yeah.
so badly that when I had Molly, I was like, I will do anything,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
to have another C-section.
Well,
and I had a great
and
doctor.
between
Yes.
but either whether it's a C-section or a vaginal birth, like I said, the process of rushing it, because they put you on your back, which makes no sense.
that makes
you
no
know?
sense. So
Um,
I
and
was
then
like,
they
Where
Oh.
should we be? On
no,
all
so
fours?
I had a bar and I
Mhm.
had a ball with Easton,
Mhm.
and you should be on all fours.
All fours. Yep.
Or just
Or
squatting.
squatting.
In
Yeah, use
Africa-
gravity, to your advantage.
Yeah,
makes
in
but it's-
Africa, they squat.
Yeah.
And everyone rubs the mom's
Yeah.
back when the baby comes
yeah,
out.
just whoop, pull it
Yeah.
right out.
Wow.
But because of the way we do things, forceps births, vacuum births, they can hemorrhage, right? There's a lot of trauma. There's a lot more trauma with a C-section or with a forceps or a vacuum,
Right.
natural birth than if a mom was like at me at home, without anybody messing.
right.
All right, tell us about your
Yeah.
birth.
Yes.
How did you do it?
Did you have a
So
water birth?
I had a pool, but I did not actually have him in the pool.
Okay, that was my
So
friend Sarah.
yeah,
She's
so
had 5 kids.
yeah,
but
so I
at home.
had a midwife and a doula, and my son was really long. He was like 22 inches long.
Oh, that's
Whoa.
my kid.
Yeah, and so he wasn't. And I got chiropractic care throughout my whole pregnancy, which a blurb for that is tremendously important during pregnancy for positioning, for pain, for
Right,
progression, for
right.
development of the baby. It's super important. So if you're ever going to have chiropractic care, do it when you're
Do
pregnant.
you still do chiropractic care, or do you just?
Oh,
or
no.
you do,
Yeah,
or
I
you
go
do
to
it
it.
all. Oh,
Yeah.
you do it all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Love that.
I see
I need
more
you to look
animals
at my,
now. Yeah.
My neck.
Okay.
I'm an animal, right?
Yeah, just woof woof. But anyway, so because he was so long, he wasn't oriented like completely vertically. He was kind of at an angle.
That was
his head-
my son. He was like
Yeah.
this.
asynclitic. They call that
Yes.
asynclitic. The
Okay.
chin is tucked and it's kind of
And
turned.
that's why it took me 3 hours to get him
Yeah.
out.
Well, it
because
took me 16. So
once they
Oh, God.
popped his head. I mean,
Yeah.
why did it take him that long to figure out that his head just needed
Yeah.
to be? Because he couldn't get his chin down.
right.
Oh my
Well,
And my vagina was down to my knees.
right. Oh God.
Meat flaps, meat curtains. All right, keep going.
So,
Sorry.
no,
Sorry,
so
Julie.
that's okay. So I went to 42 and 4, and technically the midwife is, technically we're supposed to go to the hospital or whatever, go get evaluated at 42, and I mean,
Right.
she knew I wasn't gonna do that.
You weren't gonna do that.
So I had to get another ultrasound. She's like, at least get an
Yeah,
ultrasound.
because don't they worry about the
The
umbilical
fluid.
cord? or
Well,
the
so
fluid or
actually,
something?
that's kind of a myth. The
Okay.
umbilical cord. So the baby is not getting oxygen from their, they're not breathing when they're in the womb.
Right.
right.
So the umbilical cord around the baby's neck is not really an issue. At that
Yeah.
point.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that does make sense.
Yeah, I mean,
never
it
thought about that.
can
Me
be. It can be if during the birth process, if
If
something
stuff-
weird happens, but it's not as big of an issue as they
Right.
make it out to be, because it's not
Huh.
because the baby's not going to breathe immediately either.
Right,
like,
right.
As long as they're attached to that cord, they're getting their blood
Oxygen.
from that
Right.
cord.
Right. Okay.
So unless
yeah.
it interferes with the actual birth process, which an ultrasound, would tell you. But I mean, people had babies without ultrasounds for thousands and thousands of years.
Yes,
Yep,
yep,
I mean,
yep.
it's not really it's not as scary as they as they make it out. But
Right.
but because he was oriented the way he was, he just wanted to stay in there, so he cooked in there for a
yeah.
while, and I had
was comfortable too.
yeah, he was cozy in there, but so I had prodromal labor for like 2 weeks, which is like kind of like false labor, just like
Right.
mild contractions.
Right.
And then I finally went into labor at like midnight, and I labored by myself for about 5 hours, and then I had the midwife and the doula come. I had the pool. So yeah, I did it at home, so.
Right.
Did you
Like
ever
women
make it
have
out of the
done.
bed?
Oh yeah, I had to get up and walk
okay.
around. Actually,
Yeah.
my midwife made me, after about 13 or 14 hours, she made me go up and down the stairs 2 at a time to get him to drop, because he
Wow.
just wasn't dropping.
Right, you're supposed to walk on
So-
an even.
Well, and I did that
Yeah.
for weeks.
Okay.
I curb walked, trying
Curb
to get him to
That
come.
is so funny. Have
Yeah.
you ever watched that show called The Midwife?
I've heard of it, but I've never watched
It is
it.
okay. The first like 2 or 3 seasons are based on this midwife from the 1950s, all her journal entries, and so it's fantastic.
Oh.
The show's great, but
I need
after
to see this.
after the 3 seasons, they didn't have anything else to go on, so they start making up stories. But they all went to these people's houses and apartments to give birth,
Yeah.
and these midwives, there was nothing they couldn't do. They were so good at what they did. They
Mine
figured
was
out everything.
well, and actually, it's
amazing.
funny you would say that, because mine. That's exactly what happened with mine. Because when I did the stairs, I did actually feel him descend. I felt his head come down.
Oh,
Isn't that wild?
And I
Oh
got
my gosh,
and then I got in the pool for a little while, and I got a little bit of a reprieve, and I actually slept for like 15 minutes because I'd been in labor for so long. I was
Oh
exhausted.
yeah, that was like
And,
instant.
yeah.
Her head was like right there.
Yeah. So then, when it became time to push, she got me out of the tub, and I actually got on the bed, and I was on all fours at first, and I pushed probably 6 or 7 times, and he was crowning, but he just was not coming out, and that was the only point during the labor that I was actually like kind of worried, because I was like, I can't push any harder, I don't know what to do.
That's rough.
And so she was like, and this is gonna sound kind of funny, but she was listening to his heartbeat and everything, and she's like, all right, honey, she said, I know, she's like, he doesn't like this position, so I know you don't want to do this, but I need you to lay on your back. And it was because of the way his head was,
Right.
and so I'm like, okay, so I'll do whatever, just get this baby out. And
At
so
that
I
point.
laid on my back, and he was out in one push.
Oh yeah.
So she
wow.
knew,
Yeah.
she
She
knew
knew.
what she was doing.
Yeah.
And honestly,
And-
statistically, home births with a midwife are statistically much safer than hospital births.
Oh, I'm sure.
So
Well,
much
I
can
am
go wrong
sure.
in the hospital.
Yes.
And then not to mention all of the unnecessary interventions.
Yes.
Oh, I
that's
totally
the biggest
forgot.
thing. The unnecessary
Yes.
interventions.
When I had Lily, she was C-section, and I remember, it's so funny, I didn't remember until just now. They came in and they said, we were looking at your chart, and you've never had the rubella vaccine.
Oh,
Oh
God.
my gosh.
And they're like, you need it. And I was like, okay, well, let me have it.
While
And
you're
I-
pregnant.
When I just had her, they gave me the vaccine. You guys, I was so sick.
Yeah.
I'm nursing a baby.
Ooh.
I'm so sick I can't walk up and downstairs, and I just had a C-section. I'd never been so sick. I was coughing so hard.
Not
from
to
the
mention,
rubella virus. I mean,
that,
the
yeah,
vaccine.
not to mention, like, any of the live virus vaccines can actually, you can get
Well,
the
yes.
Is that a
right.
live-
You can- yeah.
Is that a live virus vaccine?
I think so.
Oh gosh, I don't know, but you guys,
Yeah.
I'd just been cut open hip bone to hip bone, and I was coughing
Mm-hmm.
so hard I thought I was gonna break my ribs. And every time I coughed, I would have to hold my stomach
Gosh.
because it felt like someone was ripping me open
Oh,
again.
that's
horrible.
my
It was
best
horrible.
friend had the worst problems with her incision. But let me tell you this. So I'm Rh negative.
Okay.
My
yeah.
husband is also Rh negative.
What's that?
But I have negative blood. I'm O negative. I'm the universal donor.
Oh,
So the
Kevin's O
RH
positive.
factor. Yeah.
Okay.
But he's only universal to positives. Negativers can donate to both.
Oh,
Yeah, I can
Okay.
donate to positive and negative.
but you can't take it, right?
I don't know
You
what
can
I
give it, but you can't take it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you
Yeah.
can give, but you can't receive.
Yeah. So we didn't realize that my husband was also Rh negative until my second pregnancy.
Yeah.
So they gave me the Rogam shot.
Yeah.
that was the most painful
Horrible.
shot I've ever had in my life.
Wait,
Terrible.
why? Like, what's
Because
the
you
deal?
can have a blue baby.
Yeah, so if the baby is Rh positive and you're Rh negative, like the first birth, it doesn't matter because the blood doesn't mix. But once you've had a baby,
Yeah.
the blood mixes, and so your body will develop antibodies against that Rh factor. And so the next time you have a baby, your own blood can attack the developing
Holy
baby.
moly.
So why would they give me that on my first baby?
There's no reason to.
Exactly. And so then
Huh. That's crazy.
my mother-in-law randomly was like, oh, Brandon's B negative. And I was like, well, that would have been good information.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because there's no way if you're both negative, there's no way
There's no way
for
you
you
can
to have a
have
positive.
You can't
yeah.
have two
So it was
negatives can't
completely,
be
so it was
positive.
completely
But
unnecessary.
two positives can have it.
Yes. Yes.
Huh.
I know. It's
Say no
wild.
to this. I made positive. I'm like,
Punnett squares and
Who does? you know all this stuff.
Okay.
I don't.
Lots of pregnancy talk, but
Yes.
I want to talk
Okay.
about your tinctures.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to talk about that, and then I also want to talk about that light thing you
photon?
stick on me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. What
It's
do
pretty
you
great.
want to start with?
Well, let's start with that because
Okay.
whatever this is, and you and your mom have both told me about it, and I'm like, what is this thing you're putting on me? You can't feel it.
Yeah.
But when I had a pinched nerve, I did from doing lunges. I did lunges.
Oh my gosh.
And my
Where was it?
So, it was in the back, and it would
Okay.
shoot down my leg. My leg. I had to drag my leg.
Is that like a sciatica?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
It was the most painful thing. I could barely walk. I couldn't sit down. I had to stand the whole time, and I would
Was this
just
from
pace.
Strength Lab?
No, it was just me doing lunges.
kidding.
This was
Just
before
kidding.
Strength Lab. It was before.
JK, CrossFit
JK.
Cornelius.
I was just doing lunges around the house, and I was like, oh, something just
Were you-
doesn't feel good. What?
Do you remember when we first started coming up with topics for this, and we were like, you can fit fitness anywhere in your life.
Lunges while you cook dinner.
Yeah, were you
we
doing
had some
lunges while
dumb-
you were
No,
cooking
but we did
dinner?
have some dumb.
Okay.
That was my dumb idea. But anyway, we've gotten a lot
And
better.
you're
Apparently
pinch
not
nerve.
after
You
a
gotta-
certain age.
We've
You
gotten
got,
better.
you got a pinch nerve
I got a
doing
pinch
lunges
nerve.
while cooking
It
dinner.
was, y'all, it was so painful that I would get up at night because I couldn't sleep because I was in so much pain, and I'd go into the laundry room and close the door so that nobody would just happen upon me, and I would just go in there and cry.
I-
and cry.
Oh my God.
And
I
cry.
have heard that is so
It
painful.
is, you guys, I can't even, it was just as painful as my endometriosis. That's how bad it was.
Oh my gosh.
And so I don't know how I thought to ask you about that. Maybe Susie told me, your mom told me. She said, you need this
Well, I
proton
think I
thing."
actually think that she told you to come see me for chiropractic, and then when you
Okay.
came, I was like, we need to photon you.
I was in so much pain. And
Okay,
so I
what?
think I came
Yeah.
three times and did it.
Yeah.
It was
When was this?
Oh wow.
a year?
Yeah. Probably about a year.
Maybe a year ago.
Wow.
So the first time I felt like, oh my gosh, I almost feel like it's worse.
Yeah.
But then you texted me and you said, come back, I'll do another one. I did another one. I was like, okay. I slept that night, which I hadn't slept in a long
So
time.
this time last year?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I had no idea.
Yeah, well, I didn't really tell anybody.
Yeah.
And then I went one more time, and the next day you texted me like, "How you doing?" I was like, "I'm completely back to normal,
Oh my gosh, so what kind of light?
Yeah.
completely normal."
So
let's tell us
yeah,
about
so I'll
that.
tell you about the laser. So I don't know if you guys
I love it when I when I look down at my wine glass
and it's
magically
magically
refilled.
It's the wine fairy.
Wine fairy.
Love it so
Yes,
much.
yes. Cold laser therapy is there's many different types of cold laser, and it's gotten a lot more momentum, I would say, in the past probably 20 years, as far as being an effective modality, low level laser therapy.
Okay.
And there's different classes, so it goes from 1 up to 4, and they use different wavelengths, and so you'll have they'll have some in the infrared, and the far infrared
that's
spectrum. And most of the cold laser devices on the market, if they're really low level, like if they're class 1, 2, those are more like your red lights. And those, those are pretty safe, but they are less therapeutic.
Is that like the panels? I bought a fringe red light
Or the
panel.
ones people put on their faces.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep, that's
I bought
red light.
Okay, I bought
Yeah.
a panel from my husband's tennis elbow.
Yep. And they will help with like blood flow and some inflammation.
Right.
They don't penetrate that deep. They will actually elicit a small thermal effect.
Okay.
which is, generally safe, but you don't want to look at it, can damage
Right.
your eyes. And then the higher power lasers, the class 4 lasers, use a higher wavelength and frequency and higher power, and they penetrate deeper. Yeah, they penetrate deeper, but they have more risks. So basically, so the wavelengths that's used in those higher power lasers, and actually in the infrared as well, in the low level lasers, they are considered penetrating lasers, which means they absorb into the tissue. And it's a localized effect in that tissue, and because it's being absorbed in the tissue, it builds up heat in the tissue. So the higher power the laser,
so does that get your mitochondria going?
So certain lasers will trigger the mitochondria, but the primary effect of these lasers is that because it triggers heat, it increases the metabolic rate of the cells, which can increase healing. Speed up the healing process.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Can also increase blood flow.
So that's what this.
But that's a
this is what most of the lasers do. This is like the mechanism of these lasers.
Okay.
The one that I uses a completely different wavelength that's actually not even classed. There's no class for it. It was developed in the 80s by.
You gotta tell the story.
Yeah, I'll tell you the story. First I'll tell you what it does, how it's different, and then I'll tell you the story. So this one uses a wavelength that is actually close to 2 micron, which is much higher than the other wavelengths. But what's different about it is that instead of being absorbed into tissue, it's actually absorbed into water molecules. So it's absorbed into the water inside the cells, and it modulates the immune system. So it triggers this cascade effect in the body that actually acts as what we call an immunogen, which is it stimulates the immune system. So and it disperses. So it's like a drop of food coloring in a glass of water.
Oh yeah.
So it produces a systemic healing effect for over 48 hours. It elevates that. So you can literally treat anything with it. You can treat infections. You can treat cancer. We've cured blindness. You can. It's the only kind
your
of
mom
laser.
uses
Yes.
on boobs?
What?
What? Remember, she was like, I had a patient that came to me with like 5 markers that they were watching in her boob.
Oh, I bet you it was. Well, if she talked about
Was it my mom?
Yes,
Well, if
your
it was
mom.
my mom, then yes.
Because they both have a machine.
We both use the same
Oh,
machine.
she has it too. Then
Mhm.
that tracks.
Yeah.
That is.
But if it's
really
anybody
cool.
else, the answer is no.
Right.
Because like you don't know how many times people are like, when I'm like, okay, we need to do the laser, and they're like, oh, I've had that done. I'm like, no, you haven't.
No.
Like, so it will actually break up and resorb scar tissue. Any kind of scar tissue anywhere in the body.
Said
That is cool.
I want to bring Molly to one of you because she has so much scar tissue in her ear she can't hear out of that ear.
Wait, why?
Yeah.
Because of so many ear
Ruptured
infections and
eardrums.
ruptured eardrums and stuff. But she had such a high tolerance for pain.
Yeah.
We had no idea she even had infections.
Oh yeah, that's like Grant with his fractured hip. He's like, it's fine.
Yeah,
And I took him to the doctor, and he's
Same.
like, the doctor's like, he's really in pain. I was like, well, he's not telling us.
Yeah, Molly was the same way. So
So-
she'll either see you or your mom
Yeah.
for this thing on her ear.
Bring
So,
them down. Yeah.
What does
So-
this thing look like? Is
So,
it a panel?
It looks like it's a box. It looks like a just like a metal box with a screen. It's got a digital screen on it,
Okay.
and it's got a fiber optic cable and a handpiece.
Okay.
And then so the box generates the light, and then it sends it down the fiber optic cable, and it comes out the handpiece. Now there
And
is
you
a
can localize with the handpiece.
so yeah,
Like-
you just hold it on there.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
And then
I don't feel a thing. I
Yeah,
never feel a
some
thing.
some people do. Some people do feel it. If there's a lot of inflammation in an area, and dogs sometimes can feel it too. They'll act a little agitated, like they're trying to avoid a little bit.
Right.
It's not painful. It just it feels like either like a tingling or a heaviness, or like an intensifying.
Remember I told you that after I come and see you and I'm leaving, it feels weird.
Yeah.
Like you're up here on my neck, and when I get in the car and I'm driving, I'm like, my legs feel heavy.
Yeah.
It's,
Oh.
Yeah.
But
Because
then,
because
after
it's,
20 minutes it goes away.
It's systemic. Yeah.
Right.
But so basically this machine was invented in the 80s by a physicist
You're gonna love this.
who they were treating all these different cases, and I mean it cured like feline AIDS. They were shrinking tumors with it, all this stuff. And this was the crazy
and then it
part
was buried.
Oh, just wait.
So the crazy part is it was one of the earliest lasers that was developed, right? And so of course he was like on a mission to get this thing in every hospital in the world, right? And so he's trying to gather data, because in order to get FDA approval on anything, you have to have clinical data,
Right.
And so he's trying to get all this clinical data. They had a website, all this research, and I'm not sure the timeline on things, but I know he was approached by a few pharmaceutical companies that were trying to buy the technology.
Buy it to get
What
rid
is
of
his
it.
And
name?
he
To get rid
said
of it,
his
yeah.
name was Brown. Was Lynn? I think Lynn Brown.
Okay.
Your mom knows.
Yeah.
She knows the name.
I mean, there's another Brown that was a saddle maker, and so I think his name was Lynn Brown, but his name was Brown. Okay,
I'll look it up.
Something Brown.
But you won't
I
find
wonder
it.
if you can even
You won't
find
find
stuff.
it.
You can't.
Oh,
You can't.
okay.
You won't find him anywhere. So
How wild is that?
So he
Okay,
he was
it's better.
approached by the pharmaceutical companies. He said no, and then at some point he goes in for some routine medical procedure, like an ingrown toenail or something, and he's accidentally given a lethal combination of drugs,
God.
and he dies
Oh
in the
my
hospital.
Gosh.
And he's doorknobbed in the hospital. And so within a few months, the same pharmaceutical companies are approaching his
Wife.
widow,
Right,
right?
yeah.
And she at least had the wherewithal to say no, like this was his
Oh,
dying
good.
dream, So she stuck with it and limped it along for 40 years. Could never get FDA approval for
Of course
humans.
not.
They got
money in it.
FDA approval for animals. Well, you can't. The only people or entities that can fund research are essentially pharmaceutical companies.
Right.
So it's like they pigeonhole,
Right. They're not going to fund that. Of
So
course
yeah,
not.
they're not going to fund the research, and so unless you find some kind of benefactor who's going to
Right.
fund it, find somebody like
But there's no money in
RFK,
it,
Right.
There's no money in
there's no
cures.
money in cures. Yeah, exactly. But
No money
so
in
it
health.
was.
Isn't that
So it
crazy?
was.
And being healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was FDA approved for animals. So that's why it's on there. It's plastered this for veterinary use only. Because it's
Oh
FDA approved for
my
animals.
gosh.
It is FDA cleared for humans. So let's just be clear on that. It's cleared for humans, which means it's not illegal to use on humans.
Right.
It's just insurance won't pay for it, which is
Right.
how they've kept it out of hospitals. Because if it were FDA approved and insurance would cover it, it would be $1,000+ a treatment.
Isn't
Right,
that
by your
so
insurance.
disgusting?
It's sickening.
I mean,
it really
the
is.
people,
Yeah.
the people that can barely afford to live.
Yeah.
I mean, they're-
Well, and here now we've got this unit. So my mom and I, my mom, they actually called her because she in the 90s she started rehabbing horses, and she had built up this big reputation, with the horses.
Right.
And so there was a vet in Chicago that was working with Mary Brown that found out about her, and they reached out to her because they wanted more clinical data.
That's so
So they were like, "We
cool.
need you to use this and
So
give
that's
us your
why
data."
You guys have it.
So I was 15.
That's
I went up there with her,
Whoa.
and she's like, "Well, I can't buy one of these. They were $20,000. They're still
Right.
$20,000. They haven't
Of
even
course.
changed
Oh
in
my
price.
gosh, right.
Which at $20,000 for a laser is cheap. Like for a laser,
Oh, I'm
like
sure.
that.
Especially
The
these
next,
days,
the
yeah.
next best thing is Erconia, which are class 3 lasers. They don't do what this one does, but
Right.
they're the next best thing, and they're
Okay.
like $80,000.
Woo.
So
God.
Lord have mercy.
because of the branding, and they've got the FDA approval.
Right. So
Okay,
then how did
so-
your mom get it then?
So she went up there. She's like, I can't buy one, and they're like, that's okay. We just want your data. So just come and get it, take it, use it for a few weeks, and then
Gotcha.
tell us.
And then tell us, yeah.
Well, she
But
took
for
it.
free?
Yeah, for free.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And she took it and she used it, and after about a week, she's like, well, I can't give it back. So she figured out a way to
Good.
finance it and to
Wow.
buy it. She's like,
Yeah.
this thing is phenomenal. It's completely
Wow.
changed her practice. And so the crazy part is, my mom and I, between the two of us, and her more than me, she's got more years, of doing this than I do. But the two of us have more clinical experience with this laser than anyone in the world.
I
That's
love
crazy.
that.
Which is
Wow.
not like we're so great. It's
Have
just
you
it's so
kept a
obscure.
journal?
Right.
We haven't kept the best records.
Okay, that's okay.
She kept much better records than I have. You know, I've forgotten more cases than I've.
Girl, you're
Yeah.
busy.
You know,
You're
yeah,
busy. You are
it's-
busy.
yeah.
I mean, this is so crazy. I mean, just that. But also, let me tell you this random tangent. My best friend thinks I'm nuts, but she has dense breast tissue,
Mhm.
and they are still trying to give her a mammogram
Yeah.
every year. I'm
That's
like,
horrible.
Erin,
It's horrible.
you have got to fight.
Yeah.
For an ultrasound,
Well,
whatever.
no,
what is
no,
it?
what-
not ultrasound.
thermography.
Thermography. Thank
Yes.
you.
Yeah.
You have got to fight for thermography because
Right.
I feel I read somewhere where once you are once it's in your chart that you have dense breast
They want to
tissue,
do it. Yeah.
they will insurance will cover the thermography. Is that
Oh,
correct?
I didn't know that.
I read that.
Ooh, I don't know
somewhere.
because
I
need to
know
look
very
into
little
that.
about anything insurance does.
Oh,
I've
right,
never
yeah.
taken
Because
it.
it's a scam.
Yeah, it's a
Because
complete
it's a scam.
scam.
It's a scam.
Yes, yes.
It's such a scam.
Yeah, I have very dense breasts, and
Yeah.
so
I actually thought about.
don't go very
I
often.
actually thought about getting a thermography machine and starting a thermography.
Oh,
you
my
should.
God! You have to.
We
you
come
come.
to
You
you.
be your first client.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
You
I may
should
do it. I
definitely
may do it. Yeah, because
Yes,
I don't know if there's
'cause I won't
anybody
get a
around here that
mammogram.
does it.
I
Yeah.
refuse.
I've never had one. I never
No,
will.
me neither.
Neither's your mom.
I've
I
never
don't think.
had one.
She's 72
No,
years old.
no.
Okay, so in the remaining
Oh,
of our
okay.
time,
Yes,
let's talk about
okay,
the
sorry.
tinctures. I know. The tinctures are very. I use. Okay, so if you're watching, I literally use Julie's tinctures every day. I use the liver tox every day
Heavy-
because I drink wine
Yeah.
almost every day.
Yeah.
So
Heavy metals. you
Oh, yeah,
said?
the
that
gut
one
metal.
was the
Yeah.
big one.
Okay.
It was called. Is it guts?
Gut and metal. Yeah.
Gut and metal is the very
Yeah.
first thing that your mom had me do.
Mhm.
Was to get the heavy metals out of my body because I used to have mercury fillings and all that stuff.
Okay.
Oh my God, you hear that? I just went so Kentucky. I said feelings.
Feelings.
So Kentucky. And oh my God, you guys, I was so ill for about
Yeah.
Oh,
5 days.
yeah.
And I contacted Susan. I was like, why do I feel like death? And she was like, that's the metal coming
Yeah.
out of your
Yeah.
body.
Oh
It's
my
coming
gosh,
out.
friend.
And then Molly was the same way.
Mhm.
Molly did it,
Mhm.
and she was like, "My God, I've got the flu," and I was like, "It's just the detox."
Yeah.
But now when I do it, because every now and then I'll
Yeah.
go ahead and do like a couple days, I don't get sick at all. So
Mhm.
definitely, whatever needed to
Came out.
really come out
Mhm.
came out.
And so, what else have you done? So,
What hasn't she done? That's a better question.
So I've done the SIBO. I've
Yeah.
done SIBO you later. That's
SIBO
what it's
you
called.
later, yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I did the yeast. What's the yeast one called?
Yeast and desist.
Yeast and desist. I've done that one.
gosh,
I need to
love
get
it.
that one again because
Okay,
when
I just
do-
made a batch actually.
Good, 'cause
Could
when
have
I
brought
do-
you a bottle if I
when I do drink too much wine, I do
Yeah.
feel like, oh, this
Yeah,
is probably
yeast. Yeah, can't
food
eat it.
for yeast really
Mhm.
bad. What else have I done? I've done so much.
So-
the stress away I
Yep.
just started doing. Yeah,
Mhm.
about
Ooh.
well, like a month ago. I think.
Yeah.
so how did you formulate these?
Yes.
Okay, and was it trial and error or?
Kind of,
Can
yeah,
you tell me
yeah.
the
You'd say trial and
process?
error. So essentially, it started. What started it all was actually COVID. So that it's a blessing in disguise, right? So I started when the vaccine came out, when the jab came out. You can't call it a vaccine, but
We'll get flagged.
when the poison,
jab,
when
that's
the jab came out,
No, we don't have enough viewers yet.
Right,
Don't
right.
worry.
no one's gonna flag us.
Anyway, when it came out and there was all this talk about the shedding, the spike
Right.
protein
Oh,
shedding,
Yeah.
we would actually, and Sam was a baby, this was like 2021, and we would go to Walmart, and I didn't want to take him anywhere, because of the shedding.
Right.
And we would go to Walmart or wherever, and we'd leave, and we'd have a massive headache just from being
Oh,
in
my
public
gosh.
around
Oh
all
my
these people that
gosh.
were shedding
Because of
the
the
spike
shedding.
protein. So I started researching it.
And their masks that didn't
And-
work.
right.
They were poisoning them
Exactly,
right backwards.
exactly. And then let me touch all this stuff, and then blah, 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 on my
Right.
face. The face diapers. Anyway,
I'm always gonna think about that when
Yeah.
I see people wearing masks now.
yeah.
They still wear them.
I know. In their car alone,
In their
driving.
car. That kills me to see people drive.
So I started researching the spike protein, and there are compounds in shikimic acid and suramin in mason pine and aniseed that actually deactivate.
I don't know what that means, but I'm
they're
believing
compound.
you.
They're medicinal
Okay.
compounds in specifically in mason pine. There's some in white pine as well, but
Okay.
mason pine is a Chinese pine. And
Okay.
Ooh, I love
Um,
Eastern medicine.
so I
love that.
so I started researching that these compounds can actually bind with the spike protein and prevent it from binding to your
Oh,
cells.
wow.
Okay, and so I
Wait,
go
you've
on.
only been making tinctures since 2021?
Yep.
Because they're so
Yep.
good.
Yep.
Dude, I swear by them. I
So-
swear by them. Okay, sorry.
So that's
Keep
okay.
going.
So
and
so
did you do a lot of Eastern medicine research? Or
so
no?
my research is like kind of just global,
Global,
right?
okay.
Because there's a
Well,
lot
they
of
treat the whole
yes,
body.
yes,
and that's
Ayurvedic
what I like.
medicine.
Mhm,
You know, I kind of
yes.
got in a little bit with that, but anyway. So the first thing I did was I looked for a mason pine tincture because I was
Oh.
like, I just looked to buy one, right? Because I'm like, oh, this is what I need. I want to
Where
buy
do you
one.
find
Right.
it?
Can't find one.
Oh,
The only pine tinctures you can get are white pine. And I'm like, I need mason pine. So then I'm like, well, maybe I can make it. You know,
'Cause you're a
so I
chemist.
started
Yeah.
so I started researching, you know, how to make it. Now
Right.
you can make a tincture with a jar of alcohol and an herb. You just put it in the jar and you shake it once a day, and in a month it's ready.
That's
But
the
I
most
was
appealing
like,
part.
yeah, but I was
Put
like,
it in vodka.
but exactly, but I use vodka actually. But I was like, I don't have time for all that, you know.
Right.
So I developed a faster method using
Oh.
machines.
Oh.
So I
really?
use a ultrasonic machine to agitate, you know, the herbs, and then I use a different
Wow,
solvents
that's cool.
and different
Okay.
ratios depending on the herbs. So the beautiful thing about tinctures. So anyway, long story short, I made the pine tincture,
Okay.
and I advertised. I posted it on Facebook, and everybody and their mother
Oh,
wanted
I'm
it.
sure.
Right?
Oh, I'm sure.
So I'm
yeah.
like sending, and this was before I had like labels and all that, you know. So I'm just sending these random bottles of stuff that's
With
like
a
nothing
Sharpie
on
marker.
it. Yeah,
COVID.
yes,
That's how we started.
Yeah.
That's how we started
yes.
our skincare.
Pretty
Yes.
much, yeah.
So I'm sending these things all over the place, and everybody's. I'm like, okay, well maybe I need to make. So then the second one I did was actually I called it, the first name for it was the detox. Now I call it the Cove Tox because there are more compounds that actually work directly against COVID. So like there's wormwood is like a natural
Oh,
that's
anti-parasitic.
good stuff,
So
yeah.
it's like ivermectin, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then cinchona bark is a natural quinine. So
Oh.
like quinine
Wow.
is what they use for malaria, but they were
Wow.
finding that it's hydroxychloroquine is essentially quinine. That's the pharmaceutical. Yeah, so quinine you get from grapefruit peels and from cinchona bark. And so I
Holy
so
crap,
I made
that's so
this.
interesting.
Yeah, so the Cove Tox tincture was turmeric, echinacea, the pine, the wormwood, and you know, some other things.
Yeah.
And it was amazing for like long COVID. You know, people that had all these.
Oh, girl.
Oh,
yeah.
gosh.
I need that
Yeah.
for Lily.
Okay.
Because when Lily got COVID, when she was a freshman in college, she's not been the same.
Yeah,
since.
yeah.
I need to get that.
So that was the second one I made, and then from
Do you
there,
still make it?
yeah.
Oh, good.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
I make all of them.
Just
I mean,
checking, just
so they're
checking.
compound blends. So that's the other beauty of it is that I can, you know, so every now and then I'll have somebody that's like for instance, I had a client who is allergic to goldenrod, which is one of the ingredients that was in I think the Gut Restore. And
Yes,
so
you know,
yeah.
I'm allergic to that too
Yeah.
because it's in
I
the
was
same.
going to say, is there anyone that's not allergic?
Family.
It's in, yes, it's in the same family as ragweed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what I usually do if I have somebody, you know, with an allergy like that, when I make a batch of something, I just leave that out and then I
You
harvest
did that
it.
for me
Yeah.
with the St.
Yeah,
John's wort
with
because
the-
I'm
with the
allergic
stress
to,
away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm,
Yeah.
I'm allergic to
Yeah.
it, so she made
I've taken
Yeah.
the St.
batch.
John's.
So anyway, my mom was starting her functional practice, you know, around that time, and you know, she was like trying like, oh, I need a supplement because you know, like I've been researching nutrition supplements for years and years, and
Right.
so she would ask me, what do you recommend, you know, for this? And I'm like, well, you know, Mom, why don't I just make it, you know? And so I started, you know, making different blends for
Right.
different things, and that was kind of how I have over 30 blends at this point. For
They're so
all
good,
kinds
too.
of stuff, you know, and it just like, you know, as there was a need, I
Right.
would jump on and do my research as far as what herbs, you know,
Yes,
work for
because
what
whenever I
things.
need something,
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, do you have something for yada yada?
Right.
Yes, of course I do.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I'll be there in 20 minutes. You can pick it up.
So
I want to know what you know about or think about me. I take nothing. I take no
Yeah.
supplements.
so
I take
bare
no
bare minimum
I eat super strict.
clean. Yeah.
Yeah, but not necessarily just clean. Like
Mhm.
I make sure I have my protein,
Mhm.
my
You're so strict. That would
Yes.
throw me over the edge.
I know. I make sure I have something green every single day. And
So the problem is what I not the problem
And
because that's
fermented.
great. You know, and fermented is great
Yeah.
too. The issue
Me too.
with
I'm drinking wine right now.
the issue with nutrition is that our soil is so devoid of nutrients and depleted that it's essentially impossible to get everything you need just from food.
right.
And at one time you could,
But
Right.
I
but
feel
now,
good.
yeah.
Is that
Well, you may
Well,
feel better. I would say.
yeah.
I would say. So the main things, if you're gonna do anything, trace minerals,
okay?
vitamin D.
I do get a lot of minerals. I feel like with my salts that I
Oh, yeah,
eat every
yeah.
day.
Yeah, so Himalayan salt
Yes,
or
and I put 'em under my
Celtic
tongue.
salt. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
a great source of minerals.
And then
They're
I
not
go
as-
outside and I
Yeah.
with my
Get your-
forearms and my
Yeah.
eyes.
So I highly recommend that everybody check their vitamin D levels at least twice a
And
year.
don't you need vitamin K with
Yes,
the D to
it
be
makes
able to
it
absorb
makes it more
Okay,
bioavailable.
yeah.
Yes, yeah. You can get your vitamin D up without it, but it's way more efficient,
Okay.
to do it. And most people need vitamin K too. It's real important for your bones
I
and
am
your skin and
outside a
everything.
lot.
Yeah. So well,
I feel like I am too.
the thing is, in the summer, when you're outside and your skin is exposed, you may have adequate vitamin D levels.
Right.
But when you're in the
winter,
wintertime,
yeah.
you're almost always gonna have
I'm
your vitamin
outside
D
a lot in
plenty.
winter too.
Yeah.
So I walk
Yeah,
in-
but are you naked in the winter
I
when
make
you're
sure that I
outside?
have my forearms out.
Yeah, that's not
and
enough.
My eyeballs.
It's not
Yeah.
enough. Well, your eyes. So actually, the getting light exposure in your eyes is not necessarily gonna drastically increase your vitamin D, but it will decrease your risk of burning
Mm-hmm.
because your eyes will.
Really?
Yeah, your
Yeah.
eyes will sense
I
the
read it
UV and
somewhere.
will increase the melanin production in your skin. Whereas if you're wearing
That
sunglasses,
I also,
Interesting.
it'll
read,
block that, and your body won't think that you're exposed to the sun, even though you are.
I
So-
also,
Very
I
interesting.
read somewhere that
It also is really good for the pineal gland.
yeah,
Sun
and it's-
exposure to your eyes activates the pineal gland and helps decalcify the pineal gland.
And
So,
people
super
started
important.
getting when they invented sunglasses, more
Mhm.
people started
Skin
getting
cancer.
skin cancer.
Yep.
Is that crazy? So that's why I'm like,
Sunglasses and sunscreen are the two biggest
Yeah.
causes of skin
That,
cancer.
I will say, I always lose my sunglasses, so there's that, and I never
So
wear
I don't-
sunblock ever.
Yes,
Yeah.
I
I never wear it. Ever
Well,
wear it.
I make sure I get at least a
Yeah.
half hour exposure
I would-
before I put it on, but I'm only wearing the ones that
Zinc oxide.
yes,
Yeah.
that my
Yeah.
kale blossom
Mhm.
is recommended.
Actually,
Yeah.
and natural oils.
Oh, and tallow.
Carrot oil, tallow, raspberry seed.
Ooh.
Are all and coconut oil are all natural.
And mango butter.
Yeah, they have natural SPF.
mango butter.
And
is
also
what we use.
too, and this is another really cool thing, with God's design is that if you eat seasonally, so
Yes,
summer,
I've been doing that too.
berries, you eat stuff
Yes.
that's got a lot of natural antioxidants because your body actually the antioxidants that you consume will protect your skin.
So
Isn't
I
that
follow.
amazing?
Yeah.
I've been
That's
following the seasonal
Mhm.
vegetables
Mhm.
like rhubarb, broccoli during this, and
Mhm.
all of that.
Isn't it crazy? I mean, God
I read too
created
much,
everything. Like when things grow,
That's
it's
what- yes.
it's perfect.
It's
perfectly
all a
designed.
design.
And
It's
we've
all
just
designed.
forgotten. We've just
Yes,
lost
designed.
it. We've lost
But
it.
let me
Well,
tell you,
on
okay.
purpose.
On purpose.
Yeah.
Systematically.
We've been
Keep
duped.
us sick.
Yes.
Keep us sick.
Keep us
Oh,
sick.
but listen,
From the
Julie,
womb on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Chrissy and I both got maybe a little too much sun exposure on spring break.
Yes, we did.
But we took our tallow and our mango butter, and neither one of us
Yeah.
no peeling.
no
No
peeling,
peeling, yeah.
no
No
nothing.
peeling. And here's the funny thing.
My
I was
gosh.
putting it on my face and I was putting it on my chest right here.
Yes.
But I wasn't putting it on my stomach. I just wasn't thinking about it.
Yeah.
My stomach stayed red
Mhm.
all week. But my face and my everything here, a day and a half. It
Oh
was
my
tan.
gosh. And my
stuff.
skin felt
Yeah.
so good.
So much better.
I mean, it felt young.
Yeah,
It didn't look it, but it felt it.
But you know what? Skin cancer is so much more profitable.
Oh,
Oh,
gosh.
so
let's,
Absolutely.
let's push the poisons.
There'll never be a cure for cancer because there's so much money in cancer.
And that
There'll
disgusts
never be
me.
a cure.
Lucy.
It's
Well,
disgusting.
there
Two
will
of
never
my
be
favorite
cures
people.
that are
Yes.
recognized because there are plenty of cures.
Oh, there's plenty.
Oh, tell us.
Well,
there's
I mean, there's all
plenty.
kinds of things. Actually,
Yes.
one thing that's out there that you could look into, maybe you need a whole other podcast for, is actually a Rife machine, which is sound.
Oh, yeah.
Frequency,
Sound waves?
frequency, and I mean, there you can actually cure. You can kill parasites. You can destroy cancer cells by exposing the body to different levels of frequencies, sound frequencies.
Oh, wow.
And
They know
Rife,
all of
yeah,
this.
Rife. This is like 100+ technology, and it's been
Oh, my
it's
gosh.
been hidden, but there's all there's all
no
kinds
money in
of cures. Yeah, there's all kinds of cures, but people don't know about them because why cure something when
Isn't
we can
there like
treat
an
it?
oxygen?
Oxygen. Well, cancer cells can't survive in an oxygen-rich environment.
Really?
So, yeah. So doing oxygen. They also.
So what about a hyperbaric
Yeah,
machine?
hyperbaric
Yes.
chamber. I
Yeah.
thought about buying one of those too.
Oh, you should do it. I'll come be your first client. Let's do it.
One last question from me. Is
Yes.
it true that cancer feeds on sugar?
Yes.
Okay.
So and I'll tell you why if you want to know
Yes,
why.
I
Yes.
want to know
So,
because my
um,
son and I.
yeah.
So my daughter died from cancer. My father died from cancer. Like, I mean, I've had a lot of other people die from cancer in my life,
Yeah.
but those were like the
Yeah.
two most impactful. And so my son and I decided to stop sugar last
Yep.
July.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
That
well,
makes sense.
just to also just see what our bodies do.
Yeah.
You know.
Well,
Um,
and sugar is so inflammatory. I mean, it's one
Oh
of the
my
most
God.
inflammatory
So
things you can eat.
inflammatory.
But cancer cells, so regular body cells, tissue cells, they can utilize different types of metabolic processes to make energy, to make
Okay.
ATP. So the most efficient is cellular respiration, which
Okay.
is like the Krebs cycle. For anybody that remembers, science class.
I don't remember. I fell asleep.
So
in
they
science
can.
class.
So basically, you'll use. It will use sugar, in the Krebs cycle, but it can also, convert to protein,
Okay.
to go down this cascade reaction in the Krebs cycle to make ATP.
Okay.
Cancer cells.
This is refined sugar.
And,
Not like,
well, any kind of sugar.
Any kind of sugar.
So
So
your
carbs,
body. So your
like
body.
Even like agave,
Like
even
a
honey.
fruit?
Oh, agave is terrible. It's not
Oh,
any
really?
better, but it doesn't.
What
it
about
doesn't
honey?
Even, yeah, honey. Well, honey has benefits because it's good for your
gut.
immune system. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So honey is much better than agave.
Okay.
Agave is like straight fructose, which is basically worse.
Ooh.
But because fructose
Interesting.
actually enters that cycle. At a later point, so it doesn't have to be converted. So glucose
Okay.
has to be converted. So actually, you use energy converting glucose to fructose to then go into the Krebs cycle. So you're actually better off with table sugar than with fruit juice.
What?
Oh, I don't
Are you
do fruit
serious?
juice.
Yeah.
Oh my
No.
gosh.
So
But I do eat a lot of fruit. I eat a lot.
yeah,
of
but that's
pineapple,
different. That's
kiwi.
different because fruit has the fiber in it. So the fiber is
Yes.
going to tie
Okay.
up. So you're not going to get
Okay.
a spike, of sugar.
Yeah.
And obviously also
Same
fruit
thing
has
as-
antioxidants and vitamins
Yeah.
and
Fruit
vitamin
juice
C
has-
and all kinds of. But fruit juice
Yeah.
is
Added
essentially
sugar.
just boom.
Oh,
crap.
it's sugar.
Even if
It's
it
crap.
doesn't have added sugar, it's just straight
It's
fructose.
just
But
crap.
but
Right,
cancer
okay.
cells can only utilize a process called glycolysis to make energy. And glycolysis, you cannot fuel glycolysis with anything other than sugar. Whereas the
Oh.
Krebs cycle, your body can use protein and and break
Okay.
it down. And so if you're only eating fat or you're only eating protein, you can still make
Hot dogs.
yeah, exactly, hot dog. So
That's some
essentially,
assholes.
if you're
hot dogs are.
if you are
That's an
not
asshole,
if you
yes.
are not consuming any sugar, any simple sugar, anything that converts into sugar, which is any kind of carbohydrate, any kind of starch,
Right.
you will essentially starve the cancer cells because they can't utilize cellular respiration to make
Wow.
energy. They can
Yeah.
only utilize
I've
glycolysis.
read that a lot.
Um,
That's
So
why we
interesting.
stopped.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Of
So,
course, we eat Japanese sweet potatoes.
Yeah.
We eat
But
tons of
sweet
fruit.
potatoes are super good for you. They're really high in
They
vitamin
are.
A, which actually,
Yes.
if we want to go back to measles, vitamin A is an absolute cure for measles.
Oh,
Absolute cure for measles. The only children who ever die from measles are severely vitamin A deficient.
we are way over time.
So way over.
So way
So
over
remember
time.
when I told you that we may
Yeah,
not get
I
to
think
any
we
of
got
these?
to 2,
Maybe 1 or
3,
2.
maybe. Yeah. Okay.
Love it.
That's
Okay.
what makes it the best.
Yes, it is. Okay, that is it for tonight, Cougar students. We hope you've learned something amazing. Liz, what'd you learn tonight?
Oh my gosh, I learned so
did I.
so much. I can't even pick.
What you learned?
I love the laser.
The laser's
I'm
awesome.
actually randomly interested in you checking out one of my cats.
Okay.
They're geriatric
Yes.
now.
Geriatric.
They're geriatric, and our cat Winnie has like a little spot on her back that
Mhm.
bothers her.
Ooh.
Very common
Okay.
with cats.
Yeah,
I think I
because they
said something
jump.
to you about my cat too.
They jump from very high,
Mm-hmm.
and,
Yeah.
To very
and
low.
it's very sensitive on her.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
So I have a cat who's autistic. I mean, 100%. And I'm not trying to be funny by saying that. He's autistic. He's a genius.
oh, that's my cat Bella
He-
who died.
Yeah.
Remember, and she came back.
Oh
from
yes.
death?
Well, he
Yeah.
didn't
She's also
die,
autistic.
but he's a genius. But he has so many freaking allergies. This
Yeah.
freaking cat's killing me. I'm gonna bring him to you sometime.
Okay.
Oh well,
Bring him.
Bella gets lost in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Actually, one of my favorite things
She's
is when
an idiot savant.
yes, when I'm leaving
Yeah.
after you've like I've
Yeah,
come to
yeah.
you for chiropractic and I'm leaving and then there's a dog coming in. I'm like, okay.
Two-legged, four-legged.
Oh, whatever.
We don't discriminate.
Whatever.
I love
It is just
it.
fine. Okay.
Okay. Folks, don't forget we drop a new episode every single Tuesday
Yeah.
on all your favorite podcast platforms, including Spotify and Apple. And if you prefer to watch your podcasts, you can find us on our YouTube channel as well. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode.
Yes, and please head over to Instagram to find out what we'll be chatting about each week and just to watch us make fun of ourselves because it's all for your entertainment, of course.
And don't forget to tell every person you meet and every person you've ever met about your new favorite podcast.
That's right, Julie. What podcast
Yes.
do you think that is?
Oh, I think it's this one for sure. The Cougar Cocktail. The Cougar Cocktail podcast.
Cougar College.
Cougar
Cougar College.
But we are having cougar cocktails.
You know,
Cougar cocktail.
We may
might
have
be
had
another
to-
one.
maybe I had too many.
We
Oh
aim to
my God.
please.
Yes, we do.
We
It's
aim to please.
totally fine. Okay.
So,
Oh,
until
no.
next
Idiot savant. Idiot savant.
we love it. You fit right in.
Oh,
Yep.
So until next week, Cougar students, stay curious, keep learning.
Don't party until your studying is done.
And may you end your day wiser than when you began it.
Yeah. Good night. Bye.